In today's Growing Oklahoma, we're talking about forcing spring bulbs for winter bloom.
We're joined by Swearengin with Scissortail Park, who has a craft for us to do. Before that, I think Bobby had an excellent question. What exactly is forcing
Yeah, why are we so
bulbs?
aggressive with this gardening?
So fall is the perfect time to plant your spring bulbs in the landscape, and it's also the perfect time to force bulbs for indoor bloom in the winter. So right now is the perfect time to get some paper whites, and forcing bulbs is typically just planting them indoors outside their normal outdoor habitat.
Yeah.
And so this is an example of forcing some paper white bulbs, and these are planted in soil. That's the easiest way to force a bulb. So what you're doing is just breaking the dormancy on the bulb and growing them indoors, and so they'll be blooming at the time that you want them to. Outdoor landscape bulbs like daffodils and tulips are also planted this time of year in Oklahoma, so October and November are the perfect time to start planting your spring bulbs and get those daffodils and tulips in the ground.
Yeah, get them tucked in before winter. So you're saying now's the time to do both, though. And you can go ahead and enjoy them when you force them like this to adapt to the indoor climate.
That's right. So the first thing you want to do is just choose a shallow container, like these glass containers. And then you're going to add some beads or some jewels. You could also use pea gravel. And so I'm just going to fill this up about a quarter of the way. And what you want to do is have your paper white bulbs just to the top of the container there. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more in.
You want it to be kind of peeking out?
A little bit even there. And then when you add your bulbs to the container, you wanna put them with the root side down, just like that you would plant them. And then you're just gonna set your bulbs in there just like that.
This looks so easy.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
And then we water them?
And then you water them. So then you're gonna add some water there, just enough to get to the bottom of the roots. So that's about good. Because you want the bulbs, the bottom of the bulbs and the roots to be sitting in the water, but you don't want a wet bulb. So something like this is going to turn into this in a couple of weeks. And then if you do this right now, then you can have beautiful paper whites blooming for Christmas. You can also do this with amaryllis bulbs or hyacinth bulbs. So forcing bulbs is a really easy project to do right now. And then you can have those beautiful blooms indoors in the winter.
Yeah, put them by a window though?
Yeah, so then you want to...
They need some sunlight.
Yeah, that's right. So once you get these wet, you want to just put them in a kind of a cool space for a little while, then move them to a sunny window. You'll start seeing some green leaves start to poke out there. And then the main thing is once you have them in the window is just to turn them every once in a while, because these will start to lean towards your window. And then you'll have floppy plants. So
in your kitchen window?
In your kitchen window. Isn't that a great little project?
Or a bathroom window.
Right? And you could even do something this large, and you could fill this whole container with paper whites and have something beautiful like this.
You're thinking Christmas colors. What bulbs would you recommend planting?
So paper whites are typically white, and so you have that beautiful white that always goes great with Christmas. Amaryllis always come in beautiful reds and pinks.
Yeah.
There's some bicolors there that you can use.
Some red tulips.
Yeah, red tulips also can be forced, and also daffodils can be forced, but we like to do those in soil.
What's the number one thing people usually do wrong in forcing? Is there anything that just to keep in mind?
I think having your bulbs too wet. So you wouldn't want to fill this up to the top. You would want to make sure that your bulbs are just sitting on top of the water. And then every once in a while you want to add more fresh water to it and keep your water fresh and clean, and that will have a really strong bulb.
These aren't mints. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
They're not edible.
Even though it looks really delicious. Lance, thanks so much. We're glad you're with us today.
Thank you.
Coming up, we are talking about tomorrow's